Greetings, everybody. Tommy Rad here. With what we're gonna now call the punk rock revolution stories. Okay, we're now branding these videos as the punk rock revolution stories, named after my book. Okay, I just want to give. All right, now let me just check some things here. I hope everybody can hear me. Yeah, I know I didn't have a plan. I did this very abruptly today, but I wanted to do it. I wanted to get a video out for the hell of getting a video out. Oh, look at this shirt I'm wearing right here. This is like from the Kiss concerts back in New York City at Madison Square Gardens in 1977. I actually found this at Walmart, and I was actually at the show. I used to have a different version of this shirt, because there used to be a lot of people selling shirts, bootleg shirts, outside the venues back in them days. Yeah, some of them were pretty sketchy too. If they saw how much money they had in your hand waiting to buy a shirt, they would charge you that much money. I remember there used to be some Chinese guy who used to sell buns when that was like a very fashionable thing back then. Okay, now I'm doing this recap over here of an older video because it's a lot shorter than how I originally recorded it. And I'm just gonna, trying to, go back to some older stuff and some newer stuff. I got people working with me that are putting other videos on here, but that's up to, so just bear with it, It's like we're trying to grow the channel. That's what we're doing here. We're growing the channel. So, all right. So whoever's watching this now, I thank you for jumping in. And let's see what we have here. Okay. All right. Alright, do something. Alright, let's get back over what I'm doing. Okay, I want to talk about Black Flag's first New York City appearance. This is something that was very pivotal, like in my love for the underground punk rock and hardcore music. Back then, it was like, it was more like, back then was more like, we were more like leaning towards the punk rock side than the hardcore side back in that era. Like I used to hear about these. I think I first heard about Black Flag from my friend Mike Roman in high school. Actually, yeah, that's like back in 1980. I first heard about them. I may have, but that's when I found out about a lot of these bands that come from the West Coast, like the Germs, X, Dead Kennedys, Fear, Circle Jerks, which is another story unto itself. So when me and some people I used to run with in Bensonhurst, like we were the only known punk rockers out there. But we heard about Black Flag playing the Peppermint Lounge in Manhattan, so we went there. And as soon as their set started playing, that whole dance floor was like all these skinheads, which we learned were from the DC hardcore scene, came up. They came up there, and and everybody, and they were all slam dancing and stage diving. I think about 4 people from New York that I did not know at the time. Well, that were like in that pit. It was like Harley, Jimmy Contra, Robbie Cripcrash, and Danny Rampant. They were all in the pit, at that time. So there was like a new and experience that happened up there. And But see, like they thought the people from DC thought that the Adam Ant people that be hanging out at that club, who gave them shit for no reason, were like the punk rock scene in New York. But that was not the case. They were not. They didn't represent us. They went. These people went to the Peppermint Lounge for the sake of wanting to go there to get drunk and be obnoxious if they had to be. If they had to. Excuse me. I'm trying to get over a cold. So that was like my first taste of Black Flag. They had Dez singing. Dez was singing in the band at the time. And the second time I saw them was Irving Plaza, where they had a Bad Brains in NYHC open up. I mentioned that already in a previous video about the Bad Brains, my first experience with them. And that was a phenomenal event unto itself. Okay. Now the third time I saw them, they came back up to the Peppermint Lounge, and they had Henry Garfield from SOA, who now changed his name to Henry Rollins, and he was now the new singer for Black Flag, and Dez was the guitarist. Now, prior to this show at the Peppermint Lounge, Black Flag had some off days in between appearances, and they actually rehearsed at 171A. From my understanding, these were like one of the bands that actually rehearsed every single day of the week. I mean, it's great if you can have that, depending on the people you have in your band, and you have the space for it, and everybody can contribute to the rehearsal. So that's I'm not gonna get into like my dealings in that sort of situation, but yeah, just let that chime in. Yeah, so just used to hang out there. A lot of people used to come over 171A to hang out, and got to see them do their rehearsal. And then the next night, they went and played over at the Peppermint Lounge again. And then I think they were heading on their tour after that. I believe they had Mission of Burma opening up for them. If I'm not mistaken, it wasn't Mission of Burma. That was their first show, Mission of Burma, opening up for Black Flag, and then their first Peppermint Lounge appearance. And then I think this time they had Saccharine Trust opening up for them. They opened up for them a lot on their shows. I remember a lot of their tours. They traveled with them. And at that time, Damage came out, and the Damage LP came out at that time when after Henry joined. I'm not sure if Damage came out before or after the Peppermint Lounge appearance. Anybody knows? Please refresh my memory, please. Thank you. Yeah, originally it was released on SST Records and Unicorn. It was like a split effort. We used to see a lot of those back in the day, and then somehow that second label that contributed towards that original release somehow disappeared. not disappear completely, but they were just no longer involved in the original release. Now Black Flag is touring again right now with Greg Ginn and a whole new lineup. I mean, I don't know. To me, I'll be honest with you, I like their records I liked all their records before My War came out. Everything before My War. I don't know, for some reason My War just didn't sound as aggressive as their previous records. Hey, listen, this is my opinion. Don't knock me on it. Everybody has an opinion. Like as Johnny Stiff used to say, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. Let me check out a few readings here. And check out a few readings. And let me just see some things. Okay, so live stream, live 15. Okay, all right. All right, sorry about that. Just had to was checking on something over here. We're all good. Okay, now, we have live chats available, and also super chats, and you could even become a member of this channel. There's other ways to help out the channel too. If you go into the description box below, there's some things you can do to support the channel. Also, the link to my book, Punk Rock Revolution, is in that description box below. So, everybody, if you liked what you saw, please smash that like button. Share the shit out of this video. Throw some comments below. And if you are not a subscriber, please subscribe to this channel right now. Thank you for watching.